Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. We are looking at Ford once again. It has been a long time since we've had three car companies on the most active show on Bootleg Macro. But we see that Ford, if you look at this chart, is essentially setting up what is one of the ugliest moves that I have seen for any major brand name or stock in the market, not named Carvana since 2021. Wow, this is ugly. When we look at the overall price, what I can see right here is that we specifically have something that is at $13.58. And when it has blue lettering with a white background, that means there's 3 standard deviations below its 23-day average, which is terrifying. And it's essentially been on a war path downward since the 17th of July when it was at $14.09. Ooh, this is ugly. We are currently below the 5-day moving average. We are currently below the 20-day moving average, and the 5-day average is currently below the 20-day moving average. So that is not positive. You see that we have the price to fall since it looks like the 19th of July. We are on a rolling negative return on the 1 day, the 5-day, the 15-day, and the 1 month. We still are positive on the 3 month and the 6 month, so that's a little bit of hope. But I mean, if we look at the trading signals on the short term, intermediate term, and longer term, we have go shorts across the board. On the trend, we have short term, intermediate term, and longer term. We have flipped completely bearish after being bullish for months. So, like if you look back here, and this is something I like to highlight, is I like to look at when there are 2 consecutive longer term flips. So this was bearish before, and then you got 2 consecutive bullish signals. That's when I would have bought. This is when it was at $11 or $12, and I would have ridden it until now. So now it looks like at $13. So yeah, you only made $1.50, but this is a signal to me. If I had my money in there, I'd be getting out. This is not financial advice, but I'm just telling you how I see the world for the indicators that I built for myself. Now, if we look at the rolling sentiment, what I can see is that the sentiment, no surprise, was absolutely at the top of its absolute gourd right here. This thing was at 67%, and then it essentially has collapsed down to 49%. Now, the 49% is actually a good spot to be at. You might get to 45, you might get to 38. I mean, I'm not sure how low this can go because the type of moves that we're seeing are pretty ugly. The one positive thing is that the volume tends to be drying up as the price is going down, which is very positive. When we look, though, we are starting to get to a place, at least on the 10-day bullishness, at 33%, that is remarkably low, like remarkably low. We're at the point now where this is going to start to get into the territory where if something bad is going to happen, the market's just going to dry up if somebody's going to dump shares because right now we should see a reversal. We really should see a proper reversal. I mean, we got a proper sell signal yesterday, which is terrifying. I mean, I know you don't know what these mean, but we have on the bear key 3, we have 5 signals. We went from 0 on the 14th, which we hadn't had any since the 30th of June. Or the 30th of May, which, surprise, surprise, is when we got the first essentially bull flip. We haven't had any bearish signals. We haven't had any bearish signals since then. And now all of a sudden we are just maxing out. To tell you the truth, I'd be very concerned with Ford. I'd be very concerned if I was in the position. I'd be very concerned if I had money in there. I'd be very concerned if I even worked there because I don't even know what this means right now. All I know is that something bad is happening to their stock and people are reflecting it by getting rid of it. I mean, the daily sentiment is quite positive in relative place because it's not overbought. You can only really go up at a certain point from here. You can see though, it can kind of just hang out at that mid 40s level like it did here, like high 40s, low 40s, and just hang out there and really not do anything. That was this period in here when it wasn't doing anything. So you do want to be pretty cautious. We can see the volume, like I mentioned, is completely gone. We're not even really breaking above that 15-day moving average like we were on the 14th or 17th. And what's terrifying is that the big day of volatility, or the big day of volume here was on the 17th. That was the day that the price kind of started to collapse. Like that was right here. So the big day where the price fell a lot and it gapped down was the day that we got a humongous push in volume, which is terrifying. We can look at the volatility. It's been falling for quite a while. It looks like it pretty much peaked here around July 4th. It's been falling. And as it's been falling, now you saw this correlation starting to rise. So as the volatility is falling and the price correlation is rising, price is going down. And that's what we're expecting. It looks like it's essentially going to be a downward, but very slow, methodical move downward until we get some sort of a catalyst or reversal. The positive here, which I didn't even look at this, the positive here is that we are currently at the bottom of the range. So the bottom of the range for Ford is $13.34. The top of the range is still $15.99. It's not terrible. Actually, what we're seeing right now is probably a consolidation of gains. It might be a way for this to be an upward move, probably in like a month or two. I'd want to pay more close attention to it. But Ford right now looks like something I'd definitely be kind of avoiding. Probably paring back my losses if I probably would have some if I was in it, or my gains. I'd be very conscious about where my stop loss was. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long or are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is it even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletters. We send you 25 stocks breaking out every single Sunday at 9 a.m. Go to bootlegmacro.beehive.com/subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.